Hello, ma'am, sir. In this video, I will tell you about a man who's dated 200 plus women in 65 different countries and says that the Filipina are the worst. Click on the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button so we can please the YouTube overlords. Here is what he says. I have been documenting my dates from around the world now. Women from all over, from Miami to Manila. About 100 plus dates from over 65 nationalities in the past 11 years. But Filipinas have caused me a great deal of strife. The first two Filipinas I met were in America. They were overweight and not ideally as pretty as ones in mainland Philippines, but they ghosted me after a romantic date. 7 years later, I would find myself going to the Philippines not once but twice in 2 years. In 2023 and just this year in 2024. In 2023, I met a particular Filipina in Iloilo at the end of my long chain of dates from Manila to Cebu, finally settling down in Iloilo. It was a girl I didn't have to see, but wanted to see. I already had women in Manila and Cebu. I didn't have to go to Iloilo to see this girl, and I wish I hadn't. I tried to make this girl I met on OkCupid my special one. She wasn't a virgin, and she already been with a black American foreigner before. I was just a second black man, second foreigner, second lover. I was nothing new. When I first met her, she came to my hotel room in Iloilo, and the first thing she did was crawl into my bed and go to sleep. Picture provided. She was too easy. When I first asked her body count, she said 11, and then she said it was a typo and corrected it to 1. But I feel like that was the real number, and she tried to appear as timid. When I was with her, she always mentioned that her ex would do with her, where they'd go, and what they'd buy her, and she actually mentioned they're still friends. But this raised suspicion in me, and I told her she shouldn't mention him so much around me. This girl was a glutton. All she did was eat and sleep. She had no interest for intimacy and no effort in the bedroom. She just lied there. She came to my hotel room every day just to ask about which restaurant to eat at. She always took from me but never gave me a single thing. Not a gift, not a cooked meal, or a trinket, nothing. In bed with me, she would answer her phone, says things like, "Oh, my ex is texting me," and respond to him. She never introduced me to her friends or family, and she would leave every night to go back to her house. Though she said her ex met her family and I was supposed to her new boyfriend. I had flown out to see this girl from the US, and I sidetracked by awesome time in Cebu City just to have some half-brain dead Filipina in Iloilo City. She never wanted to join me for anything. She never did what I wanted to do. No museums, no parks, no nightclubs, nothing. On the fifth and final day when she came over, she came as if I were a normal day, but I sat her down on the bed and made a list of things I wanted to confront her about. I didn't yell at her and said in a calm yet stern voice, "I'm not interested in eating dinner tonight. I like to go somewhere else." I also told her she should stop talking to her ex if she really loved me. She then seemed a bit sad and then made an excuse that her friend was really sick and an emergency. She answered the phone and started speaking Ilonggo, and then she left. Later, she sent a message on WhatsApp, and then she unsent it, and then I checked my Instagram and I was blocked. I asked her why she blocked me, and she said that she was uninstalling the app, and that 10 minutes later, I was blocked on WhatsApp too. This Filipina I've been talking to online for the past 2 months, who has spent 5 days with just blocked me, and I never heard from her again. She abandoned me in Iloilo, and I never got closure. I took the next flight out of the city 2 days later and went home. It was a lesson to me Never go out of your way for a girl and just meet people along the way. Her Instagram was never uninstalled. I can see her profile from my other profiles. Her account was on private. A year later, after 2023, so now, but a week ago, I had a friend follow her just to see her account, and she indeed married, recently married, to perhaps the same foreigner black man I suspected she was still intimate with the whole time. God, this lying, cheating scammer, a God ending, but the world has a way of getting people like that back. So I'm sharing the story, these photos, and these screenshots, and I hope you avoid Filipinas like the plague. I recently noticed a ton of married Iloilo women come to Miami here on marriage visas. I matched a new Filipina here in Miami from Iloilo, the same island as my lying ex, and this new one divorced in months after arriving to America. Only 4 months, she broke off her 6-year marriage only after she came to the US and started dating other white men. The white man dumped her. The white guy who dumped her said she was moving too fast, and she confessed this to me, and then she matched me. She also confessed to me her ex-husband calls her a curse. I agree. I steer clear from Filipina single moms and divorced women. They are bitter and undesirable. A great story by a man who sent me his experiences with 2 Filipinas after dating over 200 women in 65 different countries for the past 11 years. He confirmed what we've all been saying this entire time and what I've been sharing on my channel. Avoid them like the plague, as he said. Let's have a look at yesterday's best and worst comments. The best comment comes from Leader X. He says, her so-called brother will be the boyfriend who got her pregnant. That's right. I will bet any money that that is true. Many times in the Philippines, these women will introduce their Filipino boyfriend as their brother or as their cousin. You do not think anything of it. Why he's always hanging around, why he's always there at the house, or why they're always communicating. Because you think it's just her brother. But no, it's actually their Filipino boyfriends. And they do not care because they only want your money. So what if he has to share his so-called girlfriend with a foreigner as long as he gets money and can spend it on whatever he wants? If you want to share your story, send them to thephilippinestruth@gmail.com and I will make a video of it. Even if it's a small interaction, I will compile them in one video. Let's take a look at yesterday's worst comment. This is not necessarily the worst comment, but I will read it as I think it might have value to those listening. Venom Pastor says, I don't like victim blaming, but this guy is an accessory to creating monsters, not a victim. I have to give this guy his wake-up call, aka ass whooping. You spent Panay money for 2 years and also saved yourself for her in vain for 2 years. She ghosted you while getting pregnant by her real boyfriend because you were just a chatmate, aka Western Union Poppy. Despite all of that, you decided to meet with her. You intelligent being, good guy, you aka idiot. This right here is why it's hard for foreigners to find quality Panays without running into a dozen shit shows. Meeting her, taking her to his residence, giving her money, and treating her entourage of 13 to dinner, bringing gifts for her brother, who could potentially be her baby daddy, which we all think it is, all of that and more is simply rewarding bad behavior. He just made that entire family worse. They're now much bigger monsters. F-word this guy and others like him. They've been poisoning the well the rest of us drink out of. F-word them, weak bastards. There are a lot of good points this man makes. It's true, many mistakes were made by the previous storyteller. There were several opportunities for him to cut the ties and cut his losses and move on. I do agree, stories like that definitely ruin the dating pool for the rest of men who are looking to date Pinoys. Subscribe to the channel and click the like button so we can please the YouTube overlords. Thanks for watching. God bless.